Today I am making my favorite braised garlic short rib recipe, which I braise and slowly cook in the oven. It is New Year's Day and I waited a bit too late to find my short ribs, so they're not really the cut I like, but they still came out fantastic. I'm serving them up with my creme fraiche mashed potatoes, which I have a link to in the description. It was so good and I can't wait for you guys to try it. I'm going to start by chopping my celery and onions, carrots, and prepping my garlic for my mise en place, which ultimately just means putting in place. It just helps you be better organized when cooking so your ingredients are right there and ready to go. Season your meat on all sides with your coarse salt and black pepper. Look for bright red meat and avoid meat that is turning gray in any areas. The ribs are small, but the more meat on the bone, the better. I normally get mine from Costco, but this was requested by my family last minute, so I had to make it work. Heat your oil in your Dutch oven and brown all sides of your short ribs, roughly 6 minutes per side. My eldest teen son, who loves to cook and is often a backseat cook, tried to tell me this was unnecessary, but hey, my house, my rules, and it worked well. This is the browning that we're looking for. Remove your ribs and leave about 2 tablespoons of the oil. You're going to add in your garlic cloves whole and your veggies and continue to cook until the vegetables are softened, about 5 to 10 minutes. This is where you would add in your tomato paste, but since this was unplanned on New Year's Day, and I may have been slightly hungover, I'm using tomato sauce instead. The general rule is 2 tablespoons of tomato sauce for every 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. You'll continue to cook, stirring occasionally until the tomato paste has started to caramelize a bit on the bottom and up the edges. This took about 3 minutes longer since I was using the tomato sauce. You're then going to deglaze with your wine, scrape up any brown bits or caramelized bits, and let this simmer for 10 minutes or until you can no longer smell the alcohol. You're then going to add in your broth and let that simmer for about 5 minutes. Add in your fresh thyme or dried thyme along with your salt and pepper. Then add in your short ribs, making sure that they're fully submerged. You can add more broth if needed. You're then going to add in your 2 bay leaves, cover and cook that in your preheated oven at 275 degrees Fahrenheit for 3.5 to 4 hours. You'll know when it's ready when it's tender to the fork. The first sauce I'm making is a quick sauce if you're serving your ribs right away. Just strain the veggies, making sure to push through the sieve. There will be a layer of fat on top that you can remove with a spoon. If you're making this the day before, you could just put it in the fridge and easily remove the layer of fat the next day, which will have hardened on top. But since I'm making it the same day, this technique works as well. I then added in some veggies back in to give it texture and blended it. I returned it back to a pan and added in 1 tablespoon of butter, and there is your quick, delicious sauce. The second sauce is your more traditional sauce, where you would just cook down the broth for about an hour or until you're left with a delicious reduction sauce. This is the consistency we're looking for. It's along the same consistency as our first sauce, we just arrived there much quicker. I served mine with some creme fraiche mashed potatoes, but they would also go well with some cheesy polenta, mashed cauliflower, or even a great potato gratin. It was so tender to the fork, so melt in your mouth. I honestly didn't do a tasting because I took a nap and was not having it, but trust me when I say it was so good. You can top it with some chives or some parsley. Of course, I didn't have that, but it was delicious. Bon appetit. Enjoy.